Do you hate wet feet as much as I do? Then get Vessi, and you'll never have to worry about wet feet again. Click the link directly below this video for special discount pricing just for those of you watching my video today. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. We are back with my 65 Cadillac because, well, I took it out for the first time to a public event and it blew up. Literally blew up. So Santa's Workshop and myself, as well as my stepson Nick, decided to take the car down to Ada, Oklahoma for a kind of a cruise. It was called Cruisin' Ada. So I got the car all cleaned up. You see the tires, the wheels are looking good. I mean, she's spiffy. And we made it. I mean, it's a hell of a drive down there and back. We had to cripple it home. It's got some bug guts all over the front. I had it all cleaned up, guys. I mean, she was looking right. People were coming up, talking about the car. People loved the car out there. Well, I decided to lift the front end up and drop the back end down to where it was almost dragging, and we're kind of cruising. We get to a stoplight, and we hear a loud bang. And this is the result of that bang. That's right, the passenger side front wheel is collapsed. And we drove it. That's the great thing, though. We drove it all the way back from Ada to Byers. I don't know, it's a good 20, 25 miles. And she made it back. So today, we got to figure out what happened. I got it on the lift. We're going to get it up in the air, take a look. I assume the airbag blew. And if that's all it is, well, I've got another airbag in the trunk. We're going to slap it in and hopefully bring this car back to life, because in a couple days, there's another Cars and Coffee that I'm trying to take this to with Santa's Workshop. So why don't we jump into it and see what went wrong? All right, let's climb under here and see what we can see. Make sure I got this light on. There we go. Looks like the good news is this thing was leaking a lot when I first got it, but it's been parked here for about a week, and all I see is a little drip there, one there, and a bigger one there. That's transmission fluid. Ow, I just banged my head on the lift. It's definitely wet under here. I need to clean this up. Where is it leaking from? The pan. Looks like it's leaking out of the pan. Somebody used silicone all over the pan. Ah, nope. I found it. It's this. The speedometer cable. That's where the leak's coming from. The rest of it looks pretty decent. Definitely a little bit of oil under here. It's wet. But again, it was I've never cleaned it up under here, guys. I want to just make sure you understand. It looks way worse under here than it really is, because that on the floor, that's what's actually leaking. And the majority of it is from the speedometer cable right there. Everything else is just your normal little leaks. Now, here's the bag completely collapsed. And the thing is, though, I don't see where it could have been rubbing anywhere. I guess the only thing we can do is take it out. Dang, that sucks. That really sucks. But yeah, it looks like the bag's definitely shot. So we're gonna have to get the bridge jack up under here. Let's lift this thing up, and I guess we're gonna find out how difficult it is to change an air shock. I've never done one of these bags before. Doesn't look too complicated though. I shouldn't have said that. Let's get it done. Well, we ran into a tad bit of trouble, obviously. I can't get the bridge jack under it because that passenger side front is collapsed. So I started her up, got the compressors running, got the tank filling up, and I got it as high off the ground as I could, with the exception of this side. It just wasn't enough. So what I did is I took this old jack here and got her up under the frame. We're just gonna lift her up just enough, about like that. Now we should be able to, we should be able to get the lift up a little bit. Get under it, get the bridge jack situated, and get this front end off the ground. First, I should probably put some wheel chocks behind these wheels. That would be a great idea. I'll do that. All right, I got wheel chocks under the back. We've also got these stoppers here in case the lift were to try to do something wonky. Help keep the car on there. Check the compressor, see if she's ready to roll or not. Oh yeah, we should be good. Sitting about 170 PSI. We'll get this hooked up. There we go. And let's get this jack where we want it. Probably about right here. Bring out those arms just a tad bit. And let's see what it does. It's awful close, but I think she'll be all right. She's heavy. She's heavy. Next thing we can do is move this jack out of the way. We shouldn't need it anymore. Hopefully, if everything goes right, the jack has served its purpose. Go! Heavy for such a little thing, ain't you? Get that down on the ground. Let's bring this down. Let's shut this car off. Now we got to get this wheel off. Try to figure out what the hell happened. Well, she's in the air. Looks like the bag came back down. What is this, a 19? We got a 19 on here. We'll get these wheels off real fast. Whoa. we can get these wheels off real fast, and hopefully everything that has to do with that bag is really easy to get to. Well, things are a little bit worse under here than I was hoping for. I'm just gonna put you guys under here. You see anything wrong? You just let me know if anything looks out of sorts. Yep, that's the new shock absorber. And number one, it blew all of its oil out all over the place when the bag collapsed. And number two, it bent the rod. That shock is completely toast now. The bag, there's your top bolt right there. Super easy to get to. Bottom bolt, relatively easy to get to as well. It's right there. It's just a matter of unbolting it, trying to get it out, and then hopefully we can get that air line right there in the middle of your screen. It's black, right in the center. That's the air line. We got to disconnect that as well. This shouldn't be too difficult, and again, I shouldn't have said that. All right, let's see if we can get this shock absorber off. I should probably be using something other than a wrench to try to get this off of here. This rubber boot. There, it actually worked perfectly, didn't it? Oh, wow. Yeah, that thing is, that is dead as a doornail. Let's see if we can get back here and pull this shut. There we go. There we go. There it is. That had to come off. I don't want to lose any parts. There's an important spacer right here that you got to have. And while we're at it, this doesn't belong in my track. Things get lost in this lift pretty regularly. All right, we got the shock absorber out. Step one next. Let's get this upper bolt off. Hell, I don't even know what size that is. It's pretty big though. I'm gonna guess, what have I got here, an 18? It's an 18. Great. Let's hook it up to the ratchet and see if we can break that off. Cover your ears. She's gonna be loud. Ugh. And there we go. So far, this has not been a big deal. Let's get the lock wash and everything off. We'll keep those separate so we don't lose them. All right. Now all we got to do is get this bottom one down here. That's loose. This isn't even tight. Jeez, man. Well, we'll get this under here. Get that light set up. And our bolt is right there. Let's get that off, and hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers, we don't have to disconnect one of the ball joints. I don't want to have to pry or beat on these ball joints. I really don't. But something tells me we're probably going to have to. I bet I can't get up in there and just get out my finger, can I? Because this doesn't even seem like it's tight. No, I can't get it with my finger. All right. Great. The light's dying. All right, I pulled this bottom one out without you. That's what it looked like. It wasn't tight at all, but I had to climb underneath. Don't worry, I got jack stands on top of the the locks on the bridge jack as well. She's locked down pretty good. Not to say something bad can't happen, but it's a little less likely this way. The next issue we're going to run into is that that air line. I can't see it. It runs to the top right there, that black line. That's your air line. I can't see how to even get at it. Oh, wow. So this whole thing just comes apart. This whole thing just kind of... Oh, okay, well... Huh. Let me finagle this out of here. Cross your fingers. We don't have to disconnect the ball joint. So I pushed up on the airbag until I could pull this adapter plate out. Now that I got that adapter plate out of the way, it looks like this thing's about ready to just pop out. But I got to be careful because it does have that line attached to it. Ugh. Come on. Come on. She don't want to come out. Let's not break that line now. Come on. Come on. That line is coming. Oh, there's another adapter plate on top of it too. This is fun. This is real fun. You know what? It'd be more fun if I wasn't holding this camera. You want the good news or do you want the bad news? I remember earlier I said I shouldn't say anything, and I did. Watch this. I'm going to collapse this bag, right? The bag is collapsed. I'm going to plug it with my thumb, and I'm going to let go. Oh. Are you serious? It holds pressure? Yeah. Yep. The bag is not blown. It was not the bag. It's the line. The line is blown. That's great. So now we get to figure out where. So I'm going to have to lower this car down some. It's sitting way too high in the front. We got to lower it down. We got to get it on the ground. I got to pop the hood. We got to pull the line and try to figure out where exactly this line broke. All right. Well, I found the broken line. I was watching some Monkey Wrench Mike. I was watching him work on this BMW. And it just it made me feel so much better about the project I'm working on. I would much rather be working on this than that old BMW. So here's the broken line. I mean, it shot a hole. I mean, look at that. Wow. Here's the interesting thing, though. It looks like the line has broken before. This is like one of those shark bite type deals. I believe you push down. I don't know if that's how. I think you push down it. Yeah, just like that. So here's what we can do. We can cut this old line. There's plenty of line here. It's actually too much. We'll cut this line right here and we'll splice it into this shark bite thing here. And we'll put it all back together and cross our fingers that it all works like it's supposed to. Well, I got these super sharp cutters, and I think I'm just going to kind of cut just a hair below where the line broke. There it is. Boy, that sucker looks awful. All right, then I assume I might want to try to clean that up some. It's a tad crooked. I straightened it up. Take a look. Actually looks pretty good. Now we should just be able to slide this shark bite back in there and, you know, put everything back together again for a freaking broken line. All I want you to do is remember that earlier I said this was going to be easy. We have a problem. And I'm going to show you what it is. This hose, right? This hose is lined. This is a tough, that's a tough hose right there, guys. That's probably what this whole thing is supposed to be made out of, right? Except this is a small hose with a strong liner inside of it. And what do we have here? We have a big hose with no liner at all. These are different sizes. This size is way different from this size. If you put them together, shine them in the light, look size difference between those two. That's it's a big difference. So this small size fits into the little shark bite, no problem. The big size, yeah, that doesn't fit at all. None. It does not fit. So you're probably wondering, well, how did they fit it before? Well, take a look at what they did. You can take a look at this in the light and probably figure it out. They heated it up, put a heat gun to it, shrunk it down and then stabbed it in there while it was hot so it would form. And that's what we're gonna have to do. Totally, this is wrong. This goes back to bought versus built, right? When you buy somebody else's project, that's exactly what you're doing. You're buying somebody else's project. You don't know what they did. You don't know how they did it. Obviously, this was pretty well just thrown together as far as the air suspension. If it was me, if it was up to me, and I guess it kind of is, I would go back with factory coils on this. I would rip this entire air suspension out of this car, go back with factory coils, probably even put the factory wheels back on it, and I would just make this car look as OEM as possible. I'd keep the wrap. I love the wrap. I do. I think the wrap looks absolutely beautiful. The black, I'm more of a chrome guy, but I could deal with the black too. But this air suspension, what a headache. It'd be so much better just to go back with coils. But again, guys, I'm not entirely sure. I'm keeping this car. There's nothing wrong with it that makes me want to get rid of it. I simply found something that I think I want to do power tour in more than this. That's all it is. The car runs and drives. You can ask Santa. He rode in it. We took it down to Ada. We did the tour. Aside from that line blowing, this thing gets down the road just fine. There is nothing really wrong with this car other than no heat, no air conditioning, no blower motor, but all the windows work and it does shift through all the gears, minimal leaks. It does what it needs to do to get down the road. But I think if I can secure this deal I've been working on for about a week now, the seller is not wanting to negotiate very much, and I don't blame them. It's a deal where they're trying to sell this particular vehicle, which is a rotisserie restoration. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's a crazy, crazy beautiful build. They're trying to get 40 grand out of it, and I'm trying to offer them 28. In fact, I offered them 20. They laughed at me, offered him 25. They laughed at me. Yesterday I offered him 27.5. And now they're actually taking me seriously. So if I get that car, this one is definitely going to be gone because that one's got air conditioning and you'll just have to wait to see it. But anyway, I'm going to try to heat this up with a heat gun and we'll try to force it into the shark bite there and hopefully put it all back together and maybe, possibly, the air suspension will work again. All right, guys, I'm going to do my best to try to get this in here. I want to show you what I mean, though. Here's the hose, right? It's not happening. It's not happening. So it looks like you got to try to heat this up, hopefully as evenly as possible. Maybe hit it from a different angle. Really get it hot. And then we'll try to hit it into that shark bite. And we'll hope. There we go. It looks like it's shrinking a little bit. I mean, I don't want to get it too hot because then it'll just melt the whole damn hose. All right, let's sit this down. Let's see if we can squeeze this into here now. Come on, collapse. Ouch, that's hot. That is really hot. Ah, shoot. Get in there. I don't know if it's all the way in. Ow, that is hot. Oops. Yeah, I think that was in there. As I bumped the camera. I think that was in there. I do. I think that's as far in as she goes. You don't want to get her too hot. It seems to be holding. All right, and you take the other end, and this end has no issue going into the hole here, just like that. Just boom, click, click. They both seem to be holding. Let's cross our fingers and hope that this actually works. All right, are we ready to see if the airline works? Obviously, we can't air it all the way up or that bag's gonna, you know, poof. But should be able to put the key in. And let's just it seems to hold air. Oh, I hear it leaking. That's not what we wanted to hear. Where is it leaking from? Right here, where we just fixed it. Yep. Lovely. And here we go again. We're gonna try it again. This is obviously not working very well. Okay. Is it holding now? It seems to be holding this time. That's as much as I'm going to put into it right now. And come over here, check these bags, listen for leaks. No leaks. I don't want to get too excited. But I think we may have fixed it. I've been fighting with this thing longer than I should have before I realized the reason these are split like this is not because the line had busted before, although it probably has, but the reason they split it like this, good luck. So number one, you got to get the airline in first because this collar goes over the airline. Once this collar is installed, you cannot tighten that airline. So the airline has to go in first. So what I was doing, I had this collar shoved up in the upper control arm, trying to hold it there with one hand. You have to align. There are alignment places in here for this collar. It has to fit just right or none of these bags are going to line up right and they're going to pop. So I'm sitting there fighting, trying to line this thing up before I thought about it. And I said, you know what? This hose comes right off. Why don't I put it all together? I can assemble the whole thing as a unit down here on the floor. Then I can take this line and run it up. Then I can slide this whole unit right back in there. How nice and easy is that, right? I'm always doing things the hard way. I think this is the easier way. So hopefully, I'm not going to say it this time. It's going to be easy from here. Damn it, I said it. I shouldn't have said it. I swear if I ever say something's going to be easy again, I'm going to not delete this channel. But that's how I feel right now. I thought it's going to be a breeze, man. It's going to be a cakewalk. Oh no. No, it was not a cakewalk. It was not a breeze. I'm telling you, the way you're probably supposed to do this is disconnect either the upper or the lower control arm at the ball joint, let it drop. You get in there. Instead, what I had to do is I had to fight and fight and fight and fight to get this in there. Ended up resorting to this thing right here. I was able to squeeze this into the control arm up top, and I was able to, now I can't get it in there. Go figure. I was trying to show you what I did, but anyway, I was able to get it in there, and see how I can bounce? I was able to bounce it, and by bouncing this lower control arm down, I was able to squeeze those bags in there, but I'm telling you, that ain't the way to do it. That ain't the way to do it. I should have disconnected the ball joint. Just didn't want to, guys. I was trying to be lazy, and that's what happens. You take a shortcut, it ends up being a long cut. Under here, we've got the hose. It's come out. We just plug it in. Everything is buttoned up. All we got to do is get the tire on it, sit it on the ground, cross our fingers, and hope that it's going to be fine. The sad thing is, really, this is kind of the sad thing. I assumed, again, I made an assumption and I was wrong, that the bag was blown, and it wasn't. It was a line up top. I could have just disconnected the line. Look at this. Guys, the line is right here. It's right here. Right there. The other end of the line is right here. I didn't have to do any of this. All I had to do was pull the line and go, oops, it broke, cut it, and fit it back together. All of this was a complete waste of time. Yours and mine, but at least hopefully you guys are somewhat entertained at the expense of me, you know, my misery. Well, it's time to find out if this is going to work. I don't know if it will or not. It may look like it's up in the air. It's because I've still got it on that bridge jack. I'm actually going to try to lift the car with the airbags and see if we can get it to come up off that bridge jack. There we go. Let's see. Oh. Oh, we got the back up in the air. Looks like the front's in the air a little bit too. Is she off that bridge jack though? That's what I need to know. Or are these bags not gonna... Yeah, well, no, she's not. She's still sitting on the bridge jack. Dang it. All right, well, I was hoping. I guess I'm gonna have to get it all the way up in the air. Oh, I'm gonna die of carbon monoxide poisoning in here. Good Lord have mercy. Let me get it in the air. Let's get that bridge jack down and we'll find out together if the bags are gonna hold or if it's gonna leak. Let's do what you shouldn't do and let's just climb under this thing and see if we can get her down. Oh, I gotta tighten up that, I gotta tighten up this, I forgot what it is. The, dag nabbit for the speedometer gear. I gotta tighten that down. Let's let her down and see if a bag blows. Which way is it? Is it this way or is it this way? This way. Whoop. I'll be... It's holding. I guess it's all the way down. Bingo! She's holding. At least for now, she's holding. All right, where's that speedometer drive gear? Is it just loose? Let me grab some pliers and we'll try to tighten that down a little bit. It's right there. She's leaking pretty good. That's what's dripping on the floor here, see? Fresh drip right on me from there. So get some pliers, see if we can tighten that up a little bit, stop that leak. Well, I got some good news. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I've been letting it sit here for a while, and she's sitting nice and level. She's aired up. Let's hope it stays that way. From now on, I got to remember not to say that it's going to be easy, this is going to be quick, this is no big deal, because inevitably it will always turn into one. Good news, it is sitting nice and level on all four corners. It's holding. I am very, very happy with it. I got under there with some pliers. I tightened up that speedometer drive here, hoping that that solves the leak. We'll find out eventually. Next, this is no good, man. This is really bad. So we're gonna get rid of that, and we're also gonna get rid of this, and we're gonna clean all of this up. We're gonna install some new terminals because this thing, from time to time, doesn't want to start. It'll sit here and just go like a dead battery. The battery's not dead. I'm gonna show you though. It's worth double checking because I have not charged this battery since I got this car over here. So it's definitely worth making sure that the battery's got a charge on it. Let's find out. Hopefully it does. 12.57. I'd like to see a little bit more, but let's do out of vehicle. Regular CCA. This one is what, 930? This one is 810. It's already on 810. Perfect. Let's see what it says. It says it needs recharge. It's measuring 680 out of 810, but it's a good battery. So what I'll probably do is I'm going to clean these terminals up too. We'll get all this cleaned up and get this wiring cleaned up. What a mess, man. What a mess. This right here, I don't know what's going on to a butt splice down here. Different gauge wires between here and here. I don't know, man. I don't know, but we'll get her cleaned up. We'll get her taken care of. And we'll be back here in just a second. She's gonna look good as new. All right, so I just lopped off the positive terminal and it looks really good, really clean in there. So we'll shave this down. The next thing, this is about as good as I got as far as wire for the alternator. And here's what I noticed. The wire down here is obviously thicker than it is right here, but here's what I want to show you guys. It's not gonna come out that good on camera, but if you put these wires side by side, what you notice is that this is a thicker, coarser wire, whereas this wire is much thinner, much thinner strands of wire. This is very thick. I'm not sure what gauge this is. Let me take a quick look. It is 12 gauge wire. So what I need you guys to do is tell me, is 12 gauge going to be good enough for the alternator? I personally think it will, but I'd like you guys' input as well. So what I plan on doing here is taking this all the way back to the alternator, taking this off, and replacing this entire wire with this 12 gauge right here. So we have one wire running everything. It'll be red instead of black. You know, red power, black, yeah, red. That's good. let me go ahead and finish this up. We'll come back when it's done. I already cleaned up the battery. I cleaned up the terminals. It actually looks pretty good. And yeah, let's wrap it up. All right, I wanted to show you how much cleaner everything is before I go through with putting it all back together. This is what came off of the negative terminal. It looked pretty bad. And of course, this was your positive terminal, which also, this was all in just really bad shape. I also found out the negative terminal, these bolts were not tightened all the way down, so the negative was loose. That could be a problem too. So here's what we got. We got her all cleaned up, man. Look at that fresh wire, nice and fresh, nice and fresh, and nice and fresh. We got it run all the way down, all the way back to the alternator. By the way, the alternator, that's another one, was loose. The stud on the back was loose, so I had to actually tighten the stud up before I put the this wire back on. So now all that's left is this right here. Oops, and that. Putting these bad boys on, cranking them down, and hopefully she's going to start and run, and she's going to feel a whole lot better. How does that look? A little bit better? A lot better? I think it looks a whole lot better. Now we're going to see if she wants to start, and hopefully battery voltage will be good. Alternator will be charging. Let's see what she does. Oh yeah. Simple as that. But she cranked right over, no hesitation, no issue at all. Now the only thing I got left to do is hook my little battery meter up here. Just want to see what she's putting out. Red to red and black to black. Let's see what she's doing. Really? That's low. That's really, really, really low. Let's give her a little juice. That ain't good. Now, the compressor is running, the amp is on, so it's probably drawing down the voltage some, but still, I feel like we should be doing better than that. We got the headlights on, now we're down to 12.04. Yeah, I'm not liking that. And that's coming straight off the alternator. Well, we got all the lights on, compressors running, amplifiers on. Let's turn those lights off. Oh, see how this front end looks. We got her jacked up pretty good now. Well, it ain't perfect. I'm gonna let this thing finish running. We'll see where this is at once that air compressor shuts off. Well, she seems happy, guys. Let's go take a look at this battery now. The compressor is nice and full and all the accessories are off. We're running at an idle 13.6, right around 13.6. That's good enough for me. Call that a win. Let it sit here, run for a minute, charge up that battery. Get all this crap that's in the way out of the way. I got a mess to clean up. I got a big mess to clean up. My shop is kind of a disaster right now. She's purring like a kitten though, guys. I'm happy. Air suspension is back to functioning. And just maybe, if I dare take it out on another trip, just maybe, Santa and I can take her out on this little cruise this weekend, a little cars and coffee thing, and maybe this time we won't blow an airbag. All right, let's take her out on the road. Get her out of this shop. It's pouring rain, but I got to film another video for you guys, and I can't do that with the Cadillac taking up that lift. This thing is big, man. It takes up a lot of real estate. A lot of real estate. There we go. Oh, I bet she's happy to be out of there. Well, she'll probably end up back in there. Anyway, I don't want to leave this thing sitting out in the rain, obviously. The old girl's not I mean, rain ain't gonna hurt it. I just don't want to, I don't want to leave it sitting out in the rain. But the next video I'm wanting to do for you guys is, well, it's probably going to be the Mercedes video. Hell, maybe I won't, maybe I don't need the lift after all. Let's pull her over here into the driveway next to the S-Class, and I can get to filming you guys another video. Yeah, she's happy. She's real happy. We'll get out and take a quick look at her. Oh, I love the way this thing runs. I do. I got her sitting a little low, but not too bad. Let's take a look at her. I think that's about right. I think it looks right sitting where it is right now. Let's get you a little further away. You tell me what you think. Actually, could bring that back end down some. The back end's actually sitting a little higher. Yeah, we could drop that back end down just a hair. All right. One more thing, I gotta make sure she starts back up, because she had a nasty habit of not wanting to start. Man, you turn that key and it would just brrr, brrr, you'd have to just constantly, it was a pain, and it was embarrassing. Listen to that. Listen to that. That's beautiful. Now that's one more time. I'm so happy with that right there. I love this car. I do. She's a beautiful old car. Guys, I think we are done with this video, at least for today. We're done working on this Cadillac. So do me a favor, if you enjoyed today's video, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know you enjoyed the content. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time to watch my video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and drop those comments down below. Till next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.